Hey everybody, I wanted to share a few thoughts about the events we've seen around the country over the last week described by some outlets in the press as supposed chaos. We are not witnessing chaos, we are witnessing and a part of an uprising, an entirely legitimate uprising by a people tired of being preyed on by our own public servants. I've heard a lot of discussion about looting and concerns about it. What happened to George Floyd is infinitely worse than what happened to any business over the last week. You can rebuild a business. You can restock a business. You can't resuscitate or revive a broken, taken life. We are talking about lives being taken by paid agents of the state who we employ to keep us safe, supposedly. And we've seen police riot around the country, these scenes of vicious brutality, not just racialized police violence, but also violence in the service, particularly of suppressing dissent. I believe very strongly that Black Lives Matter. It's why I was out in the streets this weekend. It's why I've been a part of the movement for Black Lives since the Ferguson Uprising. Even if you're not part of the movement for Black Lives, even if you simply consider yourself an American, this is a time to be very alarmed because these police riots, they don't just oppress racial minorities. They violate core First Amendment principles, rights that are necessary for us to be a free people. When we see the President of the United States using chemical weapons to clear a crowd so he can have a sordid photo op in front of a church whose pastor then has to repudiate his presence, we all have a problem. It's worse than that, though, because we have an opposition party, the Democrats, led by a figure who is settling, just like the president, for photo ops with her hands on a Bible. I'm not interested in Nancy Pelosi's strongly worded statements. I want to see policy. I'm a constituent who has watched her for 30 years undermine economic justice, racial justice, climate justice, and now she's showing up more than a day late and a dollar short with strongly worded announcements about her supposed commitments to racial justice. 2 years ago, I announced a 20-point criminal justice reform platform. It included measures that would ensure not only that police are accountable and measures that would advance racial justice, but particularly measures that would help ensure the prosecution of killer cops. Among them was a proposal to end qualified immunity. I'm very proud and welcome the introduction of a bill this week in Congress by Representatives Ilhan Omar and Justin Amash that would do exactly that. I'm proud to have led Congress 2 years before the introduction of that bill to the proposal. If you want to see measures like that being developed in Congress, we should replace people like Nancy Pelosi, who at the very same time as she's issuing strongly worded statements against the president, has recently expanded his surveillance powers, replace figures like that with figures who are in the streets, figures who have developed policy responding to our community's needs. Black Lives Matter, our democracy matters, our constitutional rights matter. We need to restrain police, to restore and respect dissent in order to defend our democracy. I will see you in the streets, and I hope to see you in Congress.